The Cold War forced cities to confront a chilling reality in a disaster. Water would be the first system to fail. Planners knew that explosions would rupture water mains and power outages would silence pumps, leaving millions without a drop. Within minutes, the taps would run dry, and the intricate network of reservoirs and pipes would become useless. Survival would hinge on what people could do for themselves, not on restoring the broken system. Official guidance shifted from repair to radical self-sufficiency. Citizens were taught to prepare for a world where clean water was a memory, not a guarantee. The focus was on finding, storing and purifying water, basic survival, not heroics. Every home became a potential lifeline, every drop a precious commodity. The lesson was clear. In the shadow of catastrophe, water is life. The city's survival would depend on how well its people could adapt to this new elemental struggle. In the aftermath of disaster, three needs stood above all: shelter, first aid and water. Water was the most urgent. Without it, survival was measured in days, not weeks. Dehydration would claim lives faster than hunger or even radiation. Civil defense literature hammered home: water is life. It's not just for drinking. Food prep, hygiene and medical care all depend on it. Without water, disease would spread, morale would collapse, and recovery would be impossible. The first task for any survivor: secure enough water for the next 72 hours. Homes became reservoirs. Every container, every pipe, every drop of rain was valuable. The government's role was to teach people how to unlock this hidden potential. In crisis, knowledge of water survival was the most powerful tool. The message, before anything else: find water. The most iconic Cold War advice? Fill the bathtub. In a crisis, the taps might still run for a few precious hours, enough time to act. The bathtub became a family's emergency reservoir, holding up to 200 litres of clean water. Every container, sinks, buckets, pots, was to be filled and covered to prevent contamination. This decentralized storage meant redundancy. If one source was lost, others remained. Covering water with plastic or boards protected it from dust and fallout. Simple, low-tech solutions were the backbone of survival planning. The act of filling the tub gave families a sense of control in chaos. Preparation was empowering, a way to turn fear into action. The bathtub brigade was a civilian army, fighting deprivation with buckets, not weapons. In the siege of survival, water was both shield and sword. The home became a fortress against thirst. When stored water ran low, survivors turned to hidden reserves inside their homes. The hot water tank held up to 200 litres of clean water, if you knew how to access it. Instructions were simple: shut off the main valve, turn off the heater, and drain from the lowest tap. Even toilet cisterns, U-bends and loft tanks offered a few precious litres. Rainwater collection was vital, redirecting gutters into barrels, then purifying the water. The home became a water harvesting machine, every fixture a potential lifeline. Scavenging for water was a mindset: see the familiar with new eyes. Every drop counted, every source mattered. Survival meant turning your house into a reservoir. Finding water was only half the battle. Making it safe was just as critical. Boiling was the gold standard. 1 minute at a rolling boil killed nearly all pathogens. No special equipment needed, just heat, a pot, and vigilance. Chemical tablets were a backup, but boiling was universal and foolproof. Simple instructions saved lives. If in doubt, boil it. In chaos, clarity mattered. Complex methods would be forgotten. The science didn't need explaining. The rule was enough. Purification was about empowerment, knowledge that worked when everything else failed. In a world without doctors, prevention was survival. Safe water was the foundation of hope. With water gone, sanitation systems failed, turning waste into a deadly threat. Makeshift toilets, buckets lined with plastic, became the new normal. Covering waste with dirt, ash or newspaper controlled odours and insects. Waste was stored outside, then buried far from water sources to prevent contamination. Hygiene was rationed, sponge baths replaced showers, and hand washing was essential. If water was scarce, even ash or sand could scrub away germs. Disease prevention was the only cure in a world without medicine. The fight for survival was also a fight against filth. These grim routines were the price of staying alive. Sanitation was as vital as water itself. Planners feared fire even more than fallout. Nuclear blasts would ignite citywide infernos, firestorms deadlier than radiation. Water wasn't just for drinking, it was ammunition against flames. Citizens were told to keep buckets, sand and stirrup pumps ready. Clearing flammable junk and knowing how to shut off gas and electricity were crucial. The bathtub's water was both lifeline and firefighting reserve. Homes became fortresses against both fire and fallout. Every drop had to be rationed between thirst and survival. In the triage of disaster, fire was the enemy you couldn't outrun. Today, the threat of nuclear war feels distant, but our infrastructure is still fragile. Storms, earthquakes and cyber attacks can cut off water just as surely as bombs. The Cold War's lessons remain: store water, know your home's hidden sources, and master purification. Self-sufficiency for 72 hours is not paranoia, it's prudence. The mindset of preparedness is what we've lost, not the need. Practical knowledge, how to find, store and purify water, remains timeless. The bathtub, the boiling pot, the family with the stirrup pump, these are symbols of resilience. Our survival still depends on a few basic elements. When systems fail, knowledge is our best insurance. The story of Cold War water survival is a blueprint for enduring any crisis. Enjoyed the video? Hit subscribe for more practical insights and survival tips. Don't miss out. Tap the bell to stay ahead of the next crisis. Join our community of everyday resilience. Stay prepared, stay connected.